Trigger warning, this episode contains discussion of intimate partner violence, attempted murder, emotional trauma, and abuse. Listener discretion is advised, especially for survivors or those sensitive to these topics. In this solo episode, I share parts of my own story and reflect on parallels between my experience and the story of David and Celeste.
Get it! Believe you can create, see it as innate in the dream room. Yeah, we're bringing dreams to life in the place to shine, the dream room. Yeah.
Welcome to the Dream Room. In part 1, I sat down with Dr. Lee E. Ross, author of Musical Lyrics and Domestic Violence, the Soundtrack of Our Lives. Together, we explored how popular music can normalize control, silence, and harm within intimate relationships, and what it means to recognize those patterns before they trap us. This is part 2. In my voice, my truth, my sovereignty. I shared once tragic story that literally led to my own Phoenix from the Ashes reclamation. You might wonder why a podcast called The Dream Room, a show designed to highlight people who overcome obstacles and pursue their dreams, is covering the story of an indie pop artist, David. As an indie musician myself who writes songs, sings, and records original music, I initially resonated with him. I saw an artist whose dream of making meaningful art was evolving into a genuine career, but that dream hit a nightmare. Following the 2025 discovery of Celeste Rivas Hernandez remains in the front truck of his Tesla, David Burke was officially arrested, charged with capital murder. However, he pled not guilty in April 2026. On the other hand, I relate to Celeste, a girl from a small California town, from a complicated but loving family. She was only 14 when she lost her life, when it was taken from her. Struggling with identity at an age when most of us are still imagining who we might become. At 14, I dreamed of acting, singing, marrying someday, having a large family. Celeste had dreams too. But according to the allegations online, the claim is that she was pulled away from her support system, holding on to fantasies of love, commitment, and an engagement ring she was legally too young to wear. Oh, we are diving into infinite, heavy waters today, my friends. But I assure you, we will come out of them like wild-hearted dolphins, like moon-drunk sirens. Sit back. Breathe. Take this ride with me. It's a warm summer night, July 9th, 1988, just after 11:30 p.m. I had taken 3 buses to get to my mom's home, where she was watching my children. At that hour, the bus couldn't drop me close. I had to walk the final half mile alone. I was 5 months pregnant. Twins. My partner didn't know it at the time. A layer of fog hung over the mild summer warmth. I could hear leaves rustling across the pavement behind me to my right. Then a chilling voice cut through the dark. He wanted me to go with him. He offered a choice. The answer carried brutal consequences. He told me he intended to take me to his place and kill me. That no one would find me until the stench of my dead body informed the neighborhood. In a split second, I made a sovereign choice. If it happens here, on the street, where I have a chance to survive. I fought. I gave it everything I had. The next thing I knew, blunt force trauma was coming at me from every angle. Front, right, left, behind, above, my stomach, my womb. He stabbed me 21 times. There I lay on the cold, hard asphalt, 85% of my blood spilling into a storm drain, half a block away from my mother and my children. My 14-year-old brother was coming home. He rode up on his bicycle, but my assailant reached him first, striking him in the face. Terrified, my brother fled. Then shock overcame me. It mercifully stopped time. It stalled the sensations. Once the attack ended and the immediate danger paused, the skin ruptures began to feel like searing burns. I tasted a metallic liquid. It was hard to breathe. I was choking on my own blood. When the medical technician arrived, he asked for my dying declaration. I didn't give up. I stated my husband's full government name, looked the technician in the eye, and commanded, "Get him." I survived that night. I survived the subsequent operation to save my life and the D&C of my unborn children. I survived the total annihilation of my heart, my self-confidence, my belief that love was for me, my trust in others, particularly intimate partners. But Celeste Rivas Hernandez was not permitted to survive. Prosecutors allege that when Celeste discovered her abuser's cheating ways and threatened to expose him, threatened to ruin his music career, that became the motive for her brutal slaying. Long before that night, the night he took her life, David wrote these lyrics in his hit Romantic Homicide. "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it. But it's true. I hate you." He once said in an interview that he was afraid the songs he was writing were coming true. My ex wasn't that poetic. He just said, "If I can't have you anymore, no one can. And this baby has to go." What these two men shared was a deadly, consuming obsession. Nothing to do with love. We are conditioned by fairy tales and media-driven fantasies to believe what men say instead of what they do. We mistake butterflies in our stomach for love or thrills. But those butterflies are not romance. They are not love. They are your intuition, your internal guidance system telling you to stop, turn around, run. For years, I picked up the pieces of my life. I read self-help books. I studied Neville Goddard, Tina Turner, Carolyn Myss. I explored various healing modalities. I meditated. I built a fierce, quote, survivor, unquote, identity. But one year while writing cathartic poetry, lightning struck. I realized I am not a survivor anymore. At least I'm not willing to be. I was a survivor on July 9th, 1988. I was a survivor in the ICU. And when I moved into my own apartment with my children. But as long as I keep calling myself a survivor, I feel that my identity remains inextricably shackled to an event where I was a victim. I reject that. I have evolved far beyond the blood and ashes. I am a thriving, spiritually grounded, physically powerful, mindful, creative. I used my agency, my power to act, to usher in my sovereignty, my right to rule my own life. That poem that brought this truth home for me is called Amytra. It is named after the identity given to me at birth, but transcends it entirely. Before I read it to you, though, if my truth or Celeste's story touched you today, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. Help me bring this raw inspiration to a world that desperately needs it. And today, I run a newly formed band, Shockadelica. This is Amytra. I'm like Bast, like a cat with 9 lives and third eye to watch over Egypt, the spirit of which is a brother to me. My Ka, I believe, will surpass me, and this home of my flesh and blood does not contain me. For I am ever and more than a human can see. I am deigned, destined to carouse with fate. Can't live with hate, for I am love, extraordinary, marvelous, Amytra, the goddess, incarnation of her, pure love, divine liquid, subtle, fine, intrepid. Amytra I am called, feel my faith, behold my vision. Amytra I am called, I'm arisen. The ancients have chosen, I have heard from them in the howl of the wind. I'm brazen and bold, here to protect my kin. Thank you for listening.